Welcome back, gamers. So, I'm back from my little brief hiatus that I always take after my day zero builds are done, because I need to relax after all of that stress. I did go through on Twitch and do competitive versions of each of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle characters. So, if you're not following me on Twitch, go ahead and do that. I'm going to try to be streaming more often. And you can see the uploaded stream here on YouTube. So, as I was kind of relaxing after all of the day zero nonsense, I was trying to figure out what I should do for content next, at least until the next set day zeros come out. And I thought it'd be fun to take a look at a character that was wholly considered pretty bad and see if I could make it better. And that character that I chose is Hekiji Tengai. So, this is a character from My Hero Academia's Undaunted raid set. He is one of the Shia Hisaikai. He's a 6 hand size, 25 health character with Evil, Fire, and Void as his symbols. Now, 6 hand size, 25 health is pretty underwhelming. That's not a lot of health, for especially considering most post AOT 6-handers, considering they're usually between 29 and 33 health. So, a little on the weaker side there. We do have 2 once per turn abilities. The first is a response that says once per turn, mill 3. So we discard the top 3 cards of our deck. After an attack is played, we may play 1 non-attack ally card from our discard pile as our next card this turn. So we're not allowed to play an attack, but we can play assets, actions, backups, foundations, anything that has the ally keyword, we can play from our discard pile as our next card. Now, be that an effect, like an action effect, like an enhance, we can use that, or we can block with that card. Or, as you'll see later, we can build foundations and backups if we're not going to be going in after our first attack. And then we have an enhance once per turn, but only during our turn. If we have played a card from anywhere other than our hand this turn, our rival discards 1 card. So he kind of wants to be this hand rip control deck. And I will say, I struggled a bit with this one. I'm going to do a bit of a build along, because I did build a very rough version of Tengai for my locals yesterday as of recording. And honestly, it didn't do too bad. I noticed a lot of problems it had, and we'll get to those in a minute and how I'm going to shore those up. But he's actually not as god-awful as I thought. So we're going to start with Tengai here. We'll go to standard. The list I built was on Evil and attuning Fire and Void. So that means, if you're new, that means any of the round Evil symbol I can use, and any square Fire or square Void cards I can use. And I use this for very specific reasons. I don't really remember what those reasons were, but I think I had some. So let's start with we've got our character here, Better Tengai, our character. Let's start with the actions as opposed to our attacks. So we want ally cards. So of course, Barrier Shield. This is an ally card, and when we use Tengai, we can mill 3 to activate this enhance, remove the next, reduce this attack's speed to 0. The next card you play this turn gets Breaker 2. We can do this from our discard pile, which means you never have to worry about reviewing or milling or discarding or checking your barrier shields. It's very, very powerful. So we're going to do 4 of those. And I also ran 2 copies, because I only have 2, of Hold Hostage. This is another ally action. It's a 5 diff. As an enhance during our rival's turn, our rival reveals their hand. We get to choose 1 card revealed this way and just remove it, get it out of their hand forever. But if a rival attack deals damage this turn, they may destroy one of their own foundations to add that removed card back to their hand, and we have to remove Hold Hostage after it leaves our card pool. So I'm going to put 3 in here, because I really dug Hold Hostage as a defensive hand rip, because you get to look at their hand, see what other attacks they have, remove one of those attacks. So let's say they played a mid attack and you have a mid block in hand. You play Hold Hostage from your discard pile, and they've got a high attack and a low attack, and you only have a high block in your hand. Well, you can remove the low attack and say, hey, if you don't have any way to draw other attacks, I can block these 2 attacks, and I know you're not going to touch me, so you don't get that card back, and that's defensively getting another resource out of your rival's hand. So it's very powerful. And that's it for that. I don't know if I had any non-ally actions. I think I really wanted to trim it down, so I kind of stuck with just the ally cards. Yeah, because Runaway is really good, but I didn't want any more 5/4 actions considering we have the Hold Hostage. So next up, let's go to backups. Because I did have 1 copy, because I only own 1, of Cynthia Utrom, Veiled Villain. So this is a 5 difficulty backup, but if we play an attack on our turn, choose to mill 3 with Tengai, we can play Cynthia from our discard pile if we know we're not going to be going in, because maybe we only have 1 attack, or we don't have enough foundations and stuff to constitute a string. So we can just play her as our next form and keep going. So elusive means your rival cannot use their first attack to attack her. As an enhance, during our turn, we can commit her. A rival has to discard a card. So again, leaning into this hand rip style of play where we can just guarantee we're going to rip all the cards out of your hand. So I would put 2 of them in here. She's also a +0 mid block, so that means we can block with her from our discard pile. And if our rival attacks her, they have to remove the top 2 cards of their deck. I'm also going to put in 2 Genghis Frog. I have 2 of these now. I did not put them in there in my initial build, because... Sorry, Sam. Honestly, because I only had the 1, and I didn't think 1 of each of those would be good enough. But giving all of my attacks +3 damage as a static is really powerful, and oftentimes I came up short because I did not have any damage boost in this deck. It was all based on I need to take out all the cards in your hand, and I'm just going to deal a lot of printed stats to you. So having this frog that gives 3 damage to all of my attacks, and if my rival attacks it, they have to lose 3 health, very, very powerful here. And again, it's another +0 mid block that we can block with from our discard pile if need be. I don't think we need any more, because like the other allies, we could do like the party allies, but I don't see that being too necessary for us. So I think that's all the backups will do. So now we're going to go into attacks. I remember why I chose to build this off of Evil. I had cohort support in there just because it was a low block and it was a cheeky little 4-diff. Because remember, ally attacks we're not allowed to play from our discard pile with our boy. But we are allowed to play the fire-attuned remove from play game with cards like Enough Talk. So this is really good. And I'm going to put 3 of them in there for now. I only own 1, so I almost never got to... The only time I ever got to play it, I whiffed and removed 3 foundations from my top of my deck, so cry. But if we play this from our hand, we get to remove the top 3 cards of our deck, and any attacks we remove this way, we get to play during the turn. So that's really, really powerful there. I don't know if I had any... So if we discard, I don't know if I had any momentum outs in the deck proper. I did have Raphael's Disregard, because after you this attack is blocked, it gains Echo. So not only is it a great 1 high block, but Echo is playing our attack again from our card pool, which triggers Tengai, because it's an attack, it's a card not played from our hand. So this guy works really well with Echoes. And that's huge. So being able to echo something and then rip a card out of our rival's hand is very, very powerful. So they're effectively giving up 2 cards out of their hand to block 1 time. I did have 2 Spewing Vitriol. I'll keep it at 2 for now. I like the fact that it could be like a 3, but let's see kind of where we're at attack-wise, because I also had a lot of filler, because I don't have a whole lot of TMNT cards. Like I said, I only own the 1 Enough Talk, so bumping that up to 2 might mean that I don't need to play more than 2 Spewing Vitriol. I don't want to run too many 2 checks. I think that Sabotage is neat. I don't think I had any of these. I will say I did run Titanic Capture, simply because as a blitz I can reveal my rival's hand and remove any card I want from it this way. It's a 0 low block, it's very powerful. I mainly had it in the deck because I was low on my attack count, and I liked that it kind of fit the hand rip style of play. So we're just going to go through here. I'm kind of doing this as a build along so you guys can see like my thought process behind everything, and hopefully that'll help, especially with newer players. Like Violent Animus Shot is a really good card. Yeah, it's really good. I don't see, like, I think it could be like a sideboard card for him because of your rival removes a random card from their hand. But at least when I had initially built this, I didn't have a lot of like speed boost or damage boost, so it wouldn't have really helped me out a lot. So let's scroll through here. I'm trying to remember what... I don't have the deck in front of me. One of the people I share, the person I share I did have Unexpected Outcomes as like a 2 of. Again, I was low on cards in my attacks that I wanted to play, and I thought, hey, it fits the hand rip theme, but I don't really want to run such high difficulties, especially when I'm running a 2 check, which I say as there is actively a 6 check or 6 diff in this deck that I've built, but we'll get there. But the person I share a collection with has taken it and is building things. Shapeshifting Impalement. This is a good one. So, as an enhance, if this attack was played from anywhere other than your hand, your rival loses a health. So if we removed it with like enough talk or dreaming about fighting, and then we get to play it, that means they lose an extra health. If we then echo it, because it has echo, they can lose an additional health, a little bit of extra burn damage. And then enhance, if this attack deals damage, gain 2 health. It's sitting at 7 speed already, which makes it really hard to block, and we are a squeaky little 25 health, so sometimes that extra 2 or 4 health can really help us out. Double Fist of the Mortal Flame is a really solid echo, just ask Tim Keefe. But as a first enhance, we can lose 2 health, add the top card of our deck to our momentum. This attack loses echo. So my favorite thing to do is play it if we have 1 momentum already. Don't use the first enhance, echo it, and then as the first enhance on the echoed version, lose 2 health to snag another momentum. And then you can just play like another Double Fist of the Mortal Flame and do it all over again. But echo moves, really solid for activating our once per turn enhance to rip a card out of our rival's hand. It's just all about where are we getting our damage. Where is it? Here we go. Living Spikes. So this was interesting. I ran it as I think a 2 of, because that's all I have. I'm thinking about putting this as like a 3 or a 4, because as an enhance we can add any attack from our discard pile to the top of our deck. We're going to be running, spoiler alert, 4 Dreaming About Fighting, which as a form can remove the top card of our deck, and if it's an attack we get to play it. So we can stack any attack we want to play next on top of our deck and then remove it and play it. So I'm going to put this at a 3 of right now. Plus it's a 6 low 6. It's got a Villain Enhance, which says we can selectively destroy any rival foundation. I'll pull this up. We can destroy any rival foundation, and they can cancel it by discarding a card. So again, that's that hand rip. 6 low 6 is pretty strong. It's got Breaker 1, which is really nice. So just all in all, very good card. I don't think I had any of the like actual echo, like the Hisaikai things. I only had one borrowed goods, so I didn't know if I wanted to play more than that as an enhance. Our rival discards a card if we play it after a face down card in our card pool, which echoes after they resolve the second time, flip themselves face down. And we can steal our rival's momentum, so that could be fun. I don't know how solid it is, but we could also play like Chronos Chase's Trigger, which we can change the zone of. And if it deals damage, we get to seal our rival's character, and we can freeze rival foundations. I like Dignified Display just for the block tricks. I don't know if I had anything else in here. So what does that put us at on our attack lineup? 17? We're mostly high blocks, I think, on our attacks. So let's say... I don't want to make more high block attacks. So what else can we do here, guys? Let's think a bit. Whoops. Let's go back here and see what we have. Our rival's character's mutant. If we have a scheme, I don't want another 6 diff. We could do cohort support. This is a nice breaker one with a low block. And if our rival makes a check of 5, if they fail, they lose 2 health. That could come in handy. You never know. Lock and load. Cancel the first ability. Enhance your rival plays during this attack. That's kind of neat. If we took damage this turn, this attack is 2 speed. Search your deck for 1 card, add it to your discard pile, spend a momentum, your rival spends momentum and sacrifices a foundation. Flurry of Blows is kind of neat. Powerful 3, and it can give itself 2 speed. It's a very nice low block. Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. We could play a 3rd Spewing Vitriol if we want to play around it. After this attack resolves, add 1 card from your stage to the top of your deck. This attack deals damage, add a card from your hand to your momentum. So we need some damage. Like, we could throw in Dexterous Assault, just because it's a 7 damage move that can change its own zone, and you can change its own block zone, which is pretty freaking neat. This attack deals damage, your rival commits 2 foundations. Jaw Titan's Trap. If this attack deals damage to a character, your rival mills 4. They lose a health for each attack milled this way. And if they have 10 or more foundations, you draw a card. Maybe. 1 speed for every 3 attacks on your rival's stage. Kinda... Should we just 4x some of these? Like we could 4x Double Fist, 4x Living Spikes, 4x that's enough? Or enough talk? That gives us 20 attacks. So we could do that. I'm just gonna do a quick glance here. Trying to save some time. Yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, and this is just a basics. I'm not trying to make this guy like the greatest of all time or anything. Now let's see if we have any assets that we could feasibly want to play. A military airship is always kind of good. It allows us to reuse our echoes after they flipped, maybe. But I don't know if that's absolutely necessary. Rival's turn, remove if there are 2 or more attacks in their card pool. They remove 1 card from their hand? That's neat. Oh, we do want an Airy. Because Airy is an ally, so we can build this in. We can play this from our discard pile with Tengai's ability. Dr. Ichigaki also is, which is kind of neat. Yeah, let's hold it there. Chikagi's good, but yeah, let's hold it there because we're already sitting at 32 cards and we need to get into our foundation base. So, let's see. I did have some hurling insults in there just for a little bit of extra burn, so that my rival, I don't know, like I said, I was just free building. I did not even look into this as I was building the deck itself. So yeah, always angry. You can get -2 speed. We do need 4 dreaming about fighting. This is the whole reason that I built this deck, was form, flip, remove the top card of your deck. If it is an attack, you may try to play it this turn. So we stack our deck with living spikes, and then we remove the attack we stacked with dreaming about fighting, and we just go. I did have some go in louds for speed boost. Add a face of foundation to our stage to our hand. No. We could put in some So Many Regrets, because we are doing some self-milling. So if there are 8 or more attacks in our discard pile, this attack gets -3 damage. That could be useful, just as a little cheap build. Juggling groceries is always good, especially if you're afraid of getting built out or outbuilt. Reboot is amazing in a character like this because Enhanced Sacrifice, return this attack to its printed speed and damage. Your rival may cancel this ability by discarding an attack or a backup. So if you know they aren't running backups, they'd have to give up an attack in order to not have everything reset to printed, which just means that on your turn, if you can play an Echo card or one of your removed cards, you can rip another card out of their hand. So Reboot is very dangerous for your rival to have to think about. If your rival adds 1 or more cards to their hand during the combat phase, draw a card. This is kind of good. If your rival's drawing cards, so we'll hold off on it for now. Fury attacks. Mill 2, add one of the... Nah, we don't want a 4-diff foundation. Let's see, Moment of Normalcy. I did not have any of these because they were in another deck that was somewhere else. Everlight's Grace. We don't really want to take unblocked attacks. Stoic Enmity for -1 damage. Enter your rival's discard pile. Fade Black, joining the fight. Nimble Thief, Nonagon, Scoundrel's Insight. Treasure Hunting. Printed speed of 3 or less. It's a 4, 4, 5, 7, 3, 4. So that wouldn't work for us for attention to detail. Not worried about shutdown. Stakes are high. Corporate Salute. This attack gets -2 speed. If its damage is greater than printed damage, it gets -3 speed instead. It's kind of cool. We're not really playing for that. If your attack deals damage, your next attack gets 3 damage. That's not bad. Especially if we're trying to guarantee something like that. Your attack gets 1 speed, 1 damage. That's cute. Your attacks receive speed and damage. It gets stun. Also cute. But not really worth it for us right now. Let's see. Galactic Monster. You may try to play this card as a form from your removed pile. So if we've removed it with cards like Enough Talk or Dreaming About Fighting, we can build it. So that might be nice as like a 3 of, It is a low block, which is something we're missing. Your rival removes 1 card from their hand if they have 3 or 8 or more foundations. Attack is 3 damage. That's kind of a neat one-of that I didn't think about. Rifle arm, definitely need. We need speed hate, incubating. Incubating actually works really well because then we could also remove galactic monsters that we've milled and then play it as a form from our remove pile. What else do we have here? I did have 2 invincible bodies because those are really good defense, and I had settling of old debts because if we don't have our dreaming about fightings and we living spikes, we can draw the card with settling old debts. What else did we have here? I had high end. I had 2 copies of high end. I'll probably do 3 because this was another really cool one. I can, as an enhance, add it to my hand and then put any card from my hand on top of my deck, so I can stack an attack on top of my deck to use Dreaming About Fighting specifically just to gain that enhance on Tengai to remove a card, discard a card from my rival's hand. Or I also used it to pick itself up and then stack it to the top of my deck to make sure I had a 5 check on top. So very useful. Defending Pageant Queen is good. I don't know why I didn't have any of that in there. I had food just for... Yes? I'll be right there. Dinner time. I had food just for some health gain and some speed if my rival hasn't played anything. And then I did have Resign. This is kind of interesting. As a card pool, I can remove it for +3 damage or -2 damage. And as a Tengai response, if I block with it, I get to discard all other blocks from my card pool and draw a card. But I think it's actually kind of bad, so I'm not going to play it. I had Master's Pride. Peek Behind the Curtain is kind of good if you have multiple of it. Yeah, let's put some Peek Behind the Curtains in there. It's a bit of damage pump. No, it's not. It's not damage pump. Because we're only really removing momentum for our echoes. But being able to reorder our deck in order to use our abilities is kind of neat. Yeah, let's see. Let's see where that leaves us. What's this at 73 cards? It's a lot. So let's trim this down a bit. Probably cut that back down to 2. Probably cut that entirely if it's just a one-off. And so many regrets, and then we can probably trim probably a reboot. Puts us at 68. It's better. We're still a little light on low blocks, but as a basics of how to make this bad character good again, I think this is pretty good. So what do you guys think? If you want me to take a look at more like really bad characters, I put the question out on Discord, but it turns out bad is pretty subjective, and it's not really characters are bad, it's just some characters do their thing better. I've got a couple that I might be working on, but this was just a really fun thought experiment for me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.